Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of What CD is Rob listening to? And now I'm listening to the newest album from Avenged Sevenfold, Life is But a Dream. Now let me start this by saying that if you came to this album expecting City of Evil Part 2 or even Nightmare Part 2, it's a completely different band. In fact, this is completely different even from The Stage, which was their last album back in, was it 2016, 2017? It's a completely different album and a completely different band. And honestly, I think this album is really fantastic. It's, like I said, it's so different from their last album. I would equate it sort of to like the difference between Rush's Moving Pictures and Signals. It's the same band, but just a completely different structure, a different layout, a different tone, just so very different. And personally, I applaud them for this. This is damn near progressive rock. I mean, it's so cool to hear a band take so many risks. You know, at this point in their career, they could have just played it safe, you know, did another Nightmare Part 2, The Stage, Kill the King, whatever, but they didn't. What they did was take that creativity to a whole new level. I mean, there are keyboard solos on here, there's mellotron, there's an entire song, the title track is just a piano driven piece. There's sort of a disco kind of flair on one of the tracks. There's tons of guitar here. Okay, it's very melodically driven this time around. In fact, I also heard people complain that the vocal performance just isn't there, and I disagree with that as well. I think vocally it's different. It took me a listen or two to through it before I really started to appreciate M. Shada's vocals here. But this is just a phenomenal album. There's guitar everywhere, there's creativeness, there's melody, there's crunch when there needs to be, there's some cool guitar sounds. Frankly, I'm blown away by this album, and I think time may make this one of my very favorite Avenged Sevenfold albums. I mean, if you look at their first album, Sounding the Seven Trumpets, and you look at this one, again, I feel the difference of, you know, like, I equate it to sort of Rush. I mean, their first album, the debut, self-titled, was just a straightforward kind of bluesy hard rock metal album. And slowly they changed, and by the time you get to the 80s, it's just keyboard driven and completely removed from their first album. And I think that's a lot of what Avenged Sevenfold did here. I wouldn't be against calling this a progressive rock album. So many progressive rock elements. The band has sort of just evolved so much that, like I said, comparing this to their first album, it's not the same band, and I think they're better for it. And I think this album is phenomenal. There's some great songs on here. Mattel is great. Nobody took me a couple listens, but I really enjoy that. We Love You. Again, it's another one that took a couple of listens, but I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy this entire album. I think it's fantastic. It's phenomenal. It's one I know I'm going to come back to many times. If you don't like it, that's fine. I get it. You like to stay in sort of one place. You want a band to just keep rewriting that same album over and over again, quote unquote AC/DC, cough cough. I like AC/DC, but let's face it, they release the same album over and over again. These guys are not okay with that. They want to grow, they want to create, they want to do something different, and I respect it, and I respect this album. I think it's phenomenal. Check it out. Avenged Sevenfold, Life is But a Dream. Until next time, toodles.